I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Which one is telling the truth about the Naziah case? Before we get started, let me get my copyright disclaimer out the way. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the panel early. I'm going to open up the panel early. So for anybody that would like to join me on the panel and give y'all thoughts, because I know a lot of y'all have a lot to say about both of these individuals' interviews with Miss Parker. All right. I know many of y'all have a lot to say. Some of y'all feel as though the evangelist Kenneth was lying. Some of y'all feel like the other Kenneth Greer, whom uses the name Kenneth as well as Darnell, some of y'all feel like that Kenneth was telling more of the truth than the evangelist. So when I drop the link, feel free to join me up here on the panel. Let me salute. I know I haven't been saluting individually. Let me salute individually. Salute Miss 2 Feet, Miss Minnie, Latanya, Sheena. I see my favorite roaster, Positive Vibes. Salute Positive Vibes. I'm his wife, Peggy, Dr. J. I see you, Antoinette. I see you, Weezy, Sophie. Salute to all my moderators. Nikki Lynn, I see you. Salute to the replay gang. Salute Marty. Salute to the whole Rock Squad. Salute to you, him, and her. Salute to everyone. Salute Squeak. Give me a minute to drop this link. Salute Cotan. Let me see if I can get that out of there. So I can drop this link for y'all. There's the link. Feel free to join me on the panel. Let's get it out the way early. Now, I feel like both of them was trying to take as much attention off of themselves. I feel like the evangelist, he was trying to get the attention off of him. And I feel like Kenneth, the Darnell dude, I feel like he was doing the same. He was doing the same. I do feel like that they did give some facts. I wouldn't say that everything that the evangelist said was lies. I wouldn't say everything that Darnell said was lies. They was telling some facts. I do believe they was giving us some facts. But y'all let me know how y'all feel. Salute Kristen. Salute Kristen. Salute Miss Italy D. Y'all let me know. Talk to me. How do y'all feel? Salute Brent. Brent says exactly. And here's my thing. Here's my thing. Right? Salute Kiki. Here's my thing with it. It doesn't look good for neither one of them. It just doesn't look good for neither one of them. And I'm going to tell y'all why. I'm going to tell y'all why it don't look good for neither one of them. Salute Pensy. Salute Pensy. I don't know if I saluted I'm his wife. Salute I'm his wife. Adjusted my crown. Salute. I'm going to tell y'all why it doesn't look good for either one of them. For the simple fact, both of them, the evangelist, he knew Kenneth's get down. All right. Kenneth, the Darnell guy, Kenneth Grit, he knew the evangelist get down. He said it himself. He said when we was in the mall, when we would be in the malls, the evangelist would make comments about little boys, right? Salute Desperate Sacrifices. I see you. Shayna, salute everybody. And he would say, man, why are you talking like that? Why are you making them comments about them little kids? But he still stayed with the evangelist. Same way with the evangelist. The evangelist knew Kenneth Greer's report card because according to the evangelist, he warned Miss Annette and them about Kenneth. Right? Salute Chen. Salute Chen. Brent says they both wanted to put the blame on each other. And if it's nothing that we got out of both of their interviews, I'm sure we all got that. And that's facts, Brent. They both wanted to put the blame on each other. Now, it's been said that it wasn't neither one of them that touched Naziah. It was a whole nother complete person that touched Naziah. Well, give me that person so I can go down the rabbit hole and expose that person. Because until we can find out if it was another person, both Kenneths are down that rabbit hole for touching Naziah. Some of y'all feel like they both could have touched Naziah. Right? Drop a one. Drop a one if you feel like they both could have touched Naziah. Drop a two if you feel like it was just one of them. See, this is serious business. This is serious business. And I get tired of explaining the reason why me, along with other content creators that's down this rabbit hole, I get tired of explaining why we're down the rabbit hole. Salute New York City girl. Salute Virtuous. I get tired of people questioning it. Why are we down the rabbit hole? What is that going to prove? With us being down a rabbit hole, we're trying to get Jarvis off the hook. That's not what we're trying to do. Jarvis is guilty. We already said Jarvis is guilty. And Jarvis should stand trial for touching Naziah. Possibility unaliving Naziah. We ain't getting away from Jarvis. But Jarvis is caught. He's caught. They got him. But we want to make sure that they get all of them. And even if they didn't touch Naziah, is it a possibility that they touched them other babies that was up in that house? And not only did they touch the other babies that was up in that house, the babies in the community. Salute Kenya Doll. Salute Kenya Doll. Appreciate you for pulling up. I believe Naziah was touched by a lot of people in Vari. We trying to hold everyone accountable. It's just plain and simple. We want to hold them all accountable. Kenya Doll says, amen. His wife says, yup. Brent says, right. Damn straight. Appreciate that super chat, Chen. Appreciate that super chat, Chen. Justice for Naziah. This is sad. It's so sad that that little baby, that little girl had to grow up in that environment. They all need to be held accountable, period. Keep going down the rabbit hole. I think so. It's sad that she had to grow up in that environment, man. And when you look at these characters look scary. Salute Chin. Salute Chin. These characters look scary. Now just imagine a little girl at the age of 11, 12, 13, possibility younger than that. Just imagine how she felt towards them. Imagine when they were around. Can y'all just imagine her feelings? If they look weird to us, we grown. I'm a grown man. Now you can imagine how they look to her. I'm a grown man, so I can handle myself with either one of them. But still, they look weird. But I'm a grown man. I can handle myself with them. She's a little kid. She's a little kid. Can you imagine? A little kid that was in this environment with no protection. Now, allegedly, Jarvis did pull a pow on another man. Some people say that man was the Kenneth Darnell Greer dude, but then others say it was a complete another man. Don't know. Until I get that third man, until I can go down a rabbit hole and bring this other man out of the rabbit hole, the only two that I got on my radar is those two. You know? And for them, or for whichever one it was that touched Naziah, somebody touched Naziah, an autistic man, 23-year-old, 40-year-old, I ain't gonna argue. But a man touched Naziah. We ain't talking about Jarvis. We got Jarvis. We got Jarvis. But another man, and I believe there were many of men that touched Naziah, but another man touched Naziah. And it got swept up under the rug because they felt as though he was autistic. Right? A lot of things when it comes to both of these monsters got swept up under the rug. A lot of things got swept up under the rug. Because people felt sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him. And anybody that has ever been locked up, if you have ever been locked up, even on the female side, but if you've ever been locked up before, we know what happens locked up to those type of guys. Men don't feel sorry for them. Men that's locked up don't feel sorry for them. Not at all. Because there's certain things as a man, regardless of your nationality, regardless of your age, regardless of your disability, it's just certain things as a man you shouldn't do. As a man, you shouldn't play with no kids. But this is how they in their community was and is still able to operate and do these horrific things to these babies because people turn the other eye. Appreciate that super chat, Chin. Chin says, I'm trying to figure out why Naziah and Vari were staying with Kevin. I was not clear on that. Kevin is lying, I believe. I think you're saying Kenneth. And according to Kenneth, the evangelist, alleged evangelist, fake evangelist, but I just say the evangelist just to keep from me having to keep going back and forth. But according to him, Vari and Naziah would come over there with him. Now, why would Miss Annette allow them babies to go over there with him? Now, according to Kenneth Greer, the Darnell dude, he don't know nothing about that family. He's never been around that family. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Drop a 4. Drop a 4 if y'all feel like he knows that family. Drop a 5 if y'all say, nah, Shank, he don't know nothing about the Harris family. He never been around that Harris family. Because he even said it himself. The evangelist Kenneth know more about that family than me. Right? Kenya says, and you could tell lies are being told because it's not logical for you to be against a child, you know what, offenders, but then say your friend talks about it, doing it all the time. You're just as guilty. And then, according to Kenneth, the Darnell dude, he said that the evangelist made comments about his niece. Right? I know y'all heard that. I'm about to go and check. I know y'all heard that. He also stated how crazy his family was. Well, if your family is so crazy, why your family ain't pull up on the evangelist when he wanted your niece? Why didn't you demonstrate on him? I'm just saying. Brent says he knows more than what he's telling. Ani Mo says they went to the mall and scouted as well. Come on. Because that's both of y'all get down. That's both of y'all get down. You can't sit. If my get down is sticking up people and my homies get down is sticking up people, come on. And me and my homie out at the mall, and my homie talking about getting these dudes, I'm right in the mix with my homie. That's my get down. That's my MO. So we ain't gonna sit up here, Darnell. We ain't gonna sit up here and play games, man. You know, we ain't gonna play games. That whole interview was all about Darnell shifting everything onto the evangelist. That's what that whole interview was about. For him to switch it all on the evangelist. We all watched. We all heard. We watched. But out of respect for Miss Parker, most of us kept quiet. Most of us pulled back. Most of us didn't say nothing. But if it wasn't for the respect that we had for Miss Parker, oh, it would have been on. It would have been on. It would have been on. Appreciate the super sticker, Desperate Sacrifices. Appreciate the super sticker. But don't come and try to play in our face. Don't do that. Now, allegedly, and I got to say allegedly, now allegedly, the evangelist is sending threats to Kenneth Greer, the Darnell dude. The evangelist is sending threats to him. Allegedly. Allegedly, Kenneth Darnell Greer's life is in danger. Allegedly. For the evangelist, why would you threaten Kenneth Darnell? Why would you threaten him? See, here's my thing. I want y'all to pull up over here. See, I want you, because then it's going to be a man-to-man conversation. And I'm going to carry the interview very well respected. I will not let nobody in the chat disrespect either one of y'all. And I won't disrespect either one of y'all. But I do think as a man, I do think that both of y'all, and I would like to have both of y'all pull up on the panel with me together so I can, mediate and, we could get to the bottom of this. But I want y'all to pull up over here with Shank Rock. Pull up with a man. You know what I'm talking about? Come on over here with me. Y'all can pull up right now. Talk to me. Because as a man, I got certain questions that I want to ask both of y'all. Y'all ain't had no problem with pulling up on Miss Parker's platform. Shout out to Miss Parker. She gave an excellent interview with both of them. But I want them over here with me. I want them to pull up with me. Since I'm the one that pulled y'all out of the rabbit hole. I pulled y'all out of the rabbit hole. Come talk to me. Can y'all at least do that? Come to me. I pulled y'all out of the rabbit hole. I definitely pulled the evangelist out of the rabbit hole, but then the evangelist pulled Kenneth Darnell out of the rabbit hole. I really didn't pull him out of the rabbit hole because I seen his pictures. I seen your pictures, Kenneth Darnell Greer. I did see your pictures on the evangelist page and all of that, but I didn't have no knowledge of you until the evangelist mentioned your name. And then that's when he mentioned your name. I said, oh, that's him right there. So then that's when I pulled you out of the rabbit hole. But come on up over here with me. And let's talk. Man to man. Man to man. Let's talk. Weezy says, Joe Clark, they are not going to pull up on you, bro. Exactly. But I still had to extend the invitation because don't want it to come down the line. And people say, well, why y'all ain't go over there with Shank Rock? Shank Rock ain't never asked. So, to cross my T's and dot my I's, I had to put the invitation out there. Big Perm pulled more than ever out that rabbit hole. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He talked a lot of stuff. He sure did. Make sure y'all hit the like button. We got 165 watching with only 58 likes. Hit that like button. Salute, Victoria. I see you. Antoinette says, bait. Sophie says, I want them come talk now. Yeah, come on up over here. Hit the link. Hit the link. I see you, Kiki. I see you, Kiki. Kiki says, exactly. Nobody don't want to come up. I'll drop the link again. Kiki says, professionalism. Ani Mo says, offer them some money that they would be there. I'll give y'all a bag. Come on up. Come on up over here. I'll make sure y'all get tightened up. Lies are not going to sign up for a talk with a real one. Exactly. 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 Closed mouth don't get fed. Keita says they aren't man enough. Exactly. Because if they was man enough, they wouldn't have never touched Naziah and the other children that they touched. Salute, Foxy. Yes, you invited them like a real man, Shank Rock. It's a must that we break up that community. That community got to get broken up. Our children ain't safe with that community around. Kiki says, don't give them a dime. And for them to be for them to be using the Lord's name. And this is why I say all the time, you got to watch them. The biggest devils are sitting up in the church. The biggest devils are sitting up in the mosque. The biggest devils are sitting up in the Kingdom Hall. The biggest devils are up in them synagogues. You're going to find some big devils. Not all. Salute, Shelly. Tighten up. I don't think they deserve money for an interview. It's about clearing their name, right? They guilty. I'm not paying a guilty man. Amen. Amen. They know the word. Kid says they know the word too, devils. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They went. Never would try to talk. Teach that truth, Shank Rock, on God. Appreciate the membership, Kenya Doll. Appreciate that membership, Kenya Doll. And I will be doing a members only. I will be doing a members only on Friday. So make sure y'all have y'all membership. And I will be going live. So my times of going live is 12:30 p.m. Eastern time and 10 p.m. Eastern time. But I will be adding 3 more time slots into my daily demonstrations. I got a lot of content that I gotta get out. There's a lot of stories that I have to cover. And if you need to get in touch with me, please DM me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Shank Rock. So if there's anything that you need to get at me about, got any information, if you want to collab with me, whatever it may be, just DM me on Instagram at Shank Rock. Also, if you're interested in attending this year's 3rd annual Rock Squad meet and greet that will take place in Charlotte, North Carolina, October the 23rd through October the 27th, please see my moderator, Marty. Marty is in the chat now. So if you're interested in attending this year's 3rd annual Rock Squad meet and greet, Charlotte, North Carolina, October the 23rd through October the 27th. We will be eating. We will be playing games. And I believe on that Sunday, we will have a balloon release celebration for the late, great Shanquilla Robinson. So if anyone is interested in attending this meet and greet, please see my moderator, Marty. If anyone would like to get some shirts, please see Miss Parker. Miss Parker is handling the shirts. All right. And if you would like to support the channel, there's different ways you can support the channel. If you would like to send a cash donation, my cash app is ERICMCINT. Or you could purchase a membership or a super sticker or a super chat. If you have a question for me to answer, if you have a comment for me to read, I answer all super chats. As y'all can see, I can't get to everybody's comments. I try, but I can't get to everybody's comments. So if you have a comment that you need for me to read, if you have a question that you need for me to answer, just purchase a super chat. Click on the $ symbol. Salute Kimberly. Salute Stasia. Salute Leisure Lady. Salute y'all. Appreciate everybody for pulling up. Marty says we got one space left in the Airbnb. One space left in the Airbnb. And there are other characters that's down the rabbit hole that I will be pulling out. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. There are other characters that I'm going to be pulling out of that rabbit hole. I want all of y'all. I want all of y'all. I want all of y'all. Because to my knowledge, Janelle and Kiwana, those two, they tried to protect Naziah. They reported it to CPS. I don't got no beef with Janelle and Kiwana because they reported it. So I don't got no beef with them two. I don't got no beef with Roxy and her mother Kenya. So those four, I don't got no beef with. But everybody else, y'all coming up out of that rabbit hole. Y'all gonna come up out of that rabbit hole. Appreciate that super chat, Tay. Appreciate that super chat. Great work. Keep up, love, you and Miss Parker. Appreciate that super chat, Tay. Salute, Vicky. I see you, Vicky. Salute, Vicky. Salute 80s, baby. Boo Banger. Love Angel. I want to talk to y'all about Naziah's baby. Drop a 5. Drop a 5. And I think I went over this on the last demonstration. But the last demonstration, I was experiencing audio difficulties. But drop a 5 if you feel as though Vari's baby is Naziah's baby. Drop a 6 if you feel like, nah, that's Vari's baby. I get a lot of information. Boo Banger says 5 for sure. I get a lot of information. And I do try to go through as much of the information that I could go through. All right, I see a lot of 6s down there. I see some 6s. And I get videos with a little girl that's pregnant, but the face will be covered. Now, for me, if you want me to believe that that's Naziah that's pregnant, if you want me to believe that, then you guys show me the face. I mean, and it's no disrespect to y'all that send me that and believe that, but for me to believe it, and that's why I haven't even entertained it. You know, I need to see a video with Naziah's face and a pop belly, a pregnant belly. That's the only way you're going to convince me. But to see a little girl with a pregnant, you know, the stomach out, but the face cut off, no, that ain't valid. That ain't valid. That ain't valid. Now, I don't know whether or not Vari's baby is Naziah's. I don't know. Could be. Victoria says 5. Everything can't be a coincidence. Boo Banger says fact, Shank. I'm his wife says 5, maybe. Kenya Doll says, Kern says they can't show the face. Okay. I'll take that, Kern. I'll take that. Kiki says that's a given. He needs to see the face. Common sense, they tripping. Antoinette says receipts. Marty says, please say M or red rum in the chat. Yeah, please don't spell out that M word. Just use the letter M or either, spell it backwards. Red rum. Foxy dropped the 6. Carla says, not sure. It's like the Shanquilla Robinson case, like covering the Shanquilla Robinson case. It's like, did they go through all of these necessary steps? The Naziah Harris case, it's almost like a perfect crime. It's almost like a perfect crime. Did they go through all these necessary steps to cover this up? I don't know. I'm the boss. Kiki says, watch the ads. I don't know. But what I do know is a little girl out there by the name of Naziah Harris. She needs to be, whether she's alive or not, if she's deceased, she needs to be brought back to the family to have a proper burial. His wife says, they said Vari girlfriend went missing for 6 months, but popped back up with a suitcase and no baby. I've heard that. Antoinette says, unalive. His wife says, I could be wrong. Love Angel says, I honestly think Naziah's case is fabricated. It's just so many twists and turns, and they can charge Jarvis. They can charge Jarvis with the M without a body. They can. But then you have the conspiracy theories. Evangelist Kenneth even said it himself. Naziah is not deceased. Stasia says that GFM for his sis and niece. Well, I mean, just repeating. Boo Banger says justice for Naziah. Can I get some purple hearts? Can I get everybody to throw up some purple hearts? And also hashtag justice for Naziah Harris. Love Angel says that child was being pimped out and Shannon them was okay until she found out Jarvis was one. Yep. I'm with you on that, Love Angel. I'm with you on that. Shelly says, not sure. Karen says, wait. I'm with whoever that said everything can be a coincidence. Karen says she didn't take the baby when she went missing. Constance Abrams says, yes, I just saw that story about the young lady returning. Glad she's safe. Salute, Dream Chaser. I see you, Dream Chaser. Love Angel says prosecutors say they solid. Because the evidence, if we look at that evidence that Kim Worthy and them have, they going off of the text messages. They going off of those text messages that was deleted. They going off of Jarvis's Google search engine. You know, by him Googling antifreeze, and we all know what happens if you drink antifreeze. And according to the judge even said that Jarvis performed a back alley mechanic abortion on Naziah, and that abortion went left. That abortion went left. How many of y'all believe the judge? Drop a 8. Drop a 8 if y'all believe the judge. And what the judge said. The judge said that Jarvis performed or tried to perform a back alley mechanic abortion on Naziah, and it went left. I see some 8s down there. I see some 8s down there. Let me ask y'all. With him performing the back alley mechanic abortion, do y'all feel as though Jarvis's intent was to unalive Naziah? Or do y'all just feel like it went left and, you know, it is what it is? How do y'all feel about Jarvis? Do y'all feel like he meant to take her life by performing the back alley mechanic abortion? Leisure Lady says no. Love Angel says no. Karen says no. Karen says nope. Boo Banger says absolutely. That was his intentions. His wife says that's why she was sick at school. Okay. Jerome says no. Stasia dropped the 8. Carla says no. Boo Banger says he knew what he was doing for sure. Antoinette says left. Foxy says no, just the abortion. Patricia says no. Rashay says went left. Sheena says, I just don't understand. Was it not 2 M charges? Because they found her DNA, and with that, her HCG levels would be high if she was pregnant. I don't know, Sheena. Tanika says, I feel like Jarvis' intent was to save his, you know what, and get rid of the baby. I think Shannon intended to take her out. I believe Shannon took her out. So I'm with you on that one. Salute Tracy. Salute Tracy. Stasia says that's probably why she kept getting in and out of that truck. Good point. Good point. Ariana says intent because he knew he would face charges. His wife says it went left. Tyresa says no, but still guilty of something. Chen says, I don't know, but I'm wondering why he would want to get rid of the baby when he already has 20 plus children. One more. I can't pronounce your name, Star. It went left. Dream Chaser says, ain't no telling. This case has took so many twists and turns. This so sad, man, for real, for real. Marty says, there is no medical evidence. The prosecutor has that she was pregnant, hence the reason for no charge on the baby. Amma says, I don't think Jarvis didn't anything but sleep with Naziah. Breezy Love says, Shannon was pissed off. I think he just tried to get rid of the baby. Appreciate that super chat, Truly Ashanti. Appreciate that super chat, Truly Ashanti. Truly Ashanti says, what up, Shank? Just dropped in to show love. Have a good night. I'll catch the replay. Appreciate you, Truly Ashanti. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling good. I just want everybody. I want them all to go down. You know what I mean? I want them all to go down. Because if they don't all go down, they just going to create another monster. I mean, they're going to create another Jarvis, another monster. Another Jarvis is going to come into play if they don't bring that whole community down. And then they're going to use the next Jarvis as a pawn. So they all got to go down. These are babies. These are children involved. These children involved. And so y'all mean to tell me that these are children involved, right? Now check this out. Check this out. Now, a young, gifted little girl by the name of Naziah Harris, she couldn't be protected, right? A 13-year-old little girl by the name of Naziah Harris couldn't be protected. But these monsters can be protected. Somebody make this make sense. Somebody make this make sense. They protected. They got protected. Right? All right, give me a minute, Marty. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. They got protected. Damn, man. I'm coming, Marty. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, Oh, you don't want me to drop the link, Marty? Squeak. You don't want me to drop the link, Marty? Squeak, what you doing? But, I mean, what part of the game is this, y'all? A little child, and she ain't the only one that wasn't protected. Right? I'm going to get you, Marty and Squeak. I'm going to get Marty and Squeak. Boo Banger says, make it make sense. Antoinette says, oh, they going to get him on the inside. Oh, yeah. Kenya Dawes says, I really hope the truth catches up to the guilty. Chen says, I'm not going to lie, but that woman pedophile scared me. I mean, just look at them. Seriously, they scared me, and I'm a grown man. Look at them. Just look. Just look. Looks like they still protected. They acting like they entitled to live like monsters, which they are. Facts. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Detroit. Detroit. We got to do better. Come on, Detroit. This ain't the Detroit that I know. I mean, look. They protected. They protected. I'm gonna get you, Nick. I'm gonna get you, Squeak. If Nikki and Marty don't want to hit this panel, I'm gonna get you, Squeak. Give me a minute, y'all. Give me a minute. I'm gonna drop the link. Give me a minute. All right, here go the link. All right, there's the link. Nikki, Marty, come on up. Or anybody else that want to join me on the panel, come on up. Kenya Doll says, LOL. Miss Italy says, Frank looks well connected. Yes. Cottrell says, nope, I actually believe he loved more than Shannon, but he haven't said one word. I believe evangelists, they putting it all on him, but guilty of respect for sure. All right, we got Nikki. I see you, Nikki. Give me 1 minute, Nikki. Shit popping up all over the place, y'all. Kenya says, they look scary. Yup, I want to throw up looking at them. Banger says, chat. Stasia says, I wonder who Naziah was talking about. Be watching the house all night. Jarvis act like in them text messages. Truly Ashanti says, they all played in the movie Norbit. Norbit is Kenneth Greer and Respucia is the evangelist. Wow. Wow. Slide in, Marty or Nikki. It don't matter which one.
Salute, Shank. Salute my Marty. Nick.
So salute, Shank. Marty, Shank, Rock Squad.
So, Shank, I'm only going to say this, and I am saying this respectfully. You going to have to get off Detroit now. Nikki says, Marty, why are you fighting for Detroit? You don't even live in Detroit. I was raised in Detroit. I lived like 25 minutes away from Detroit, but all of my family in there. I know that there are tons of cases that are out of Detroit right now. So we're in the forefront. We're a big metropolitan city, but crime happens everywhere. It's just that Detroit right now is in the spotlight. Do I like it? No. Do I have to live with it? Yes, but it happens all over. And to comment, and I did put it in the chat, but and I've seen it on numerous demonstrations. They want to know why Jarvis wasn't charged for M of the baby. Well, the prosecution does not have any medical proof that Naziah was pregnant, but they haven't said it. That's why they only have him for Naziah. But if there's any type of medical proof, meaning doctor's notes, a doctor's visit, a pregnancy test, they if they can't prove it, they can't charge it. We can say everything, and the defense could say, what proof do you have? But if you don't have any proof, they can't charge her for that. And Nikki has the exact charges that Jarvis is alleged of doing. Nikki?
Wait a minute, Pee Wee say, Marty, shut your ass.
What, girl, I didn't even have the chat. I didn't even have the chat on. Where is
Pee Wee came for you, Marty.
Where he at? Pee Wee, don't forget, you gonna see me in October, so don't play. I didn't see that because I didn't have my chat open. Oh, you think that's funny?
It is funny because I was getting ready to say, not that. But I was getting ready to say, I want y'all to know I love Marty with all my heart. But she actually called me one day and said, go ahead, Shay.
Let me read this real quick. Salute Milky Way. Payne says, what hurt me is everyone doing content on this case, but not thinking of other children like mine that's suffering from bullying because their father is dragged in this and it hurts horribly. Hit me up on Instagram, Payne. Hit me up on Instagram, Shank Rock. Hit me up on Instagram at Shank Rock. I would love to cover that case for you. I'll cover your child's case. Go ahead, Nikki. Hit me up on Instagram at Shank Rock.
I just want to apologize for any hurt and pain and any bullying that your child may be going through pain. I apologize for that. But I do want to say, Marty hit me up one day. Shane, you was doing a bunch of stories coming out of Baltimore. And she said, Nikki, what the hell is going on in Baltimore? And I said,
I
well,
did.
first of all, I do not feel any more responsible for Baltimore than she should for Detroit. I no longer live in Baltimore either. I live on the outskirts. And I always say that I don't take up for Baltimore no more than I would take up for Democrats. Although I'm from Baltimore and I believe and I support, crime happens in cities. It happens in big cities. You can't get over that, Marty. So goddamn it, get over it. That's the first thing. Get over it.
Alicia, and you too. Don't forget, you're coming in October too. And no, we are not off the scale.
Get over it, Marty. So it
Yes,
just
sis.
happens to be your town at this moment. Okay.
Okay.
And we're all really just trying to help. I don't think you're being unfairly picked on, or neither is Detroit or Baltimore or any big city. That was my point.
I know.
And as Pee Wee eloquently put it, I
Shut
ain't
up.
gonna say it again. Shut your ass. But that being said, Shane, I always like to get to the logistics of the case. I mean, we can go back and forth and talk about the House of Horrors, the people that's coming out of the House of Horrors and what they look like. But and although I do believe, and me and Marty and Sweet were discussing this case behind the scenes, although I do believe that Annette, mostly Annette, there's a lot of responsibility for neglect and not looking after Naziah properly. And although I believe her and Shannon know more than what they're telling, I believe when they got in that courtroom, the things that they said were in an attempt to hide their hands, their guilt. I really don't believe that they're covering for Jarvis. I think they're covering for themselves. I think they know that they bear some wrongdoing, but I really think they're covering for themselves. And I didn't watch you and Miss Parker and all y'all replays. And it's not that I disagree with everything. I didn't read everybody's comments. I'm really focusing on what I think the state's attorney put out there, and maybe some stuff that we're missing, and a lot of stuff that we're just not getting yet because the trial hasn't happened. So I think a lot of stuff is going to reveal itself at the trial. And I just want to point out what the Detroit police say they had. And this came out from the state's attorney. It says the Detroit Police Department conducted a comprehensive investigation, which included witness statements, surveillance, video, numerous documents, phone extractions, police reports, and medical records. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office reviewed 111 gigabytes of video. 111 gigabytes of video. That's a lot. 506 gigabytes of phone extractions. Again, gigabytes is a whole hell of a lot. And 19 gigabytes of documents. The overwhelming evidence in this case leads to the tragic conclusion that Naziah was red rummed by defendant Butts. And then I know people saying that Shannon or Annette did it. But again, the events of January the 9th, and this is what the state's attorney put out. We can reject it or you can choose to believe it. I choose to believe what they put out. Naziah took the school bus to school. She had her hair in two braided puffballs, clear framed glasses, a white sweater with a black jacket over it, a colorful Rugrats puffy jacket with a fur lined hood. light blue jeans, and Nike shoes. There is video of Naziah getting on the school bus. Naziah used a DPS issued tablet that she used to communicate and communicated with an app. She took one last picture of herself on that tablet. It's a photo attached. Using her tablet, she sent a message to a device associated with bus, indicating that they would meet up after she got out of school that day. Using her tablet, oh, I'm sorry, I read that. There's a video of her getting out of school at the end of the day in the same clothes that was described. She meets up with Butts and his co-worker, and they go back to the auto repair shop on corner in Detroit. Naziah is seen by Butts' sister at that shop. Butts, the co-worker, and Naziah were together in the co-worker's car when they went to Ypsilanti and then returned to the shop on corner. Butts' phone places him at these locations. At 9:30 p.m. to 12:20 p.m., Butts checked into a motel. There's a receipt confirming this as well as his phone placing him at that location. Naziah is never seen again after January 9th, 2024. More complete facts and evidence in the case will be introduced on record in the court. I know people believe in that and Shannon had something to do with it, but I also believe that that 111 gigabytes of video and that 506 gigabytes of telephone extractions, that if Annette and Shannon was at that hotel, that they would say that they were there. They would place them there. I believe that they're not going to cover up for Annette and Shannon. I believe that Jarvis did something to her because he was the last one seen with her. And like they said, they never seen her afterwards. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just need to slide in. I just need to address this. Okay, Payne. Payne says, no, not my child case. Fardy is Frank. Fardy is my daughter's father. And I'll email you. I've taken all my social medias down. Wait a minute. I got to know. Wait a minute. Hold on. She says, only God knows how bad this is affecting me. I even moved out my home because my address was put up on Facebook. She says, and I'm only saying this to you, Shank, because I seen your comment on a Facebook post about him. Okay. Because you did come to me respectfully. What would you like for me to do, Payne? You did come to me respectfully. So what would you like for me to do? How can I help? Would you like for me to stop talking about your baby father, Frank? This is, and I got to say allegedly, y'all. Payne Hagler is allegedly Frank's baby mother.
Oh, okay. I was a little confused there for a minute.
Yeah. And I do have Frank down the rabbit hole. I did do a demonstration on Frank. Frank is the lighter guy that looks Middle Eastern, Hispanic, but that's her baby father. But out of respect, she says, that's not his home, it's mine, just in his name. Well, I didn't put his information out. I wasn't the one who put his information out. I did do a demonstration on him as far as being a part of, that community. Now, because you did come to me respectfully, I would like to keep it respectfully with you. I would like to talk to you. Just email my daughters an apology. Please know how I feel. Well, I didn't put y'all address and stuff out there.
Or the children.
Right, or the children. I didn't. I didn't. But I understand where you're coming from. But for me, Payne, I went straight at Frank. I did go straight.
Invite Payne on the panel if she would like to come.
All right. Would you like to come up on the panel? Would you like to come up on a panel with me, Nikki, and Marty, Payne? No, they teenagers and seeing it all. Well, I didn't
Invite Frank
disrespect.
to the panel.
Right. I didn't disrespect you, and I didn't respect his children.
Come on up. Drop the link for Shank.
Sure,
She
but
said,
not for long. All
yeah.
right, let me drop the link. Give me a minute. Let me come out of this.
And so I'll say this, Shank, before I drop down, because I don't believe in bullying anyone or
Right.
attacking anyone without proof. Let me just say that. And I've heard some comments about Gotti. I haven't heard anything about his children. And so, again, I'm sorry if her children were hurt in the process. But you guys know me. I always believe in placing the blame on where it's due. So, just like in the Shanquella case, I refuse to blame other people when I think we have on tape who hurt Shanquella. And I'll say it over and over and over again. It's Dejanay, it's Dejanay, it's Dejanay. Where other people always wanted to blame the doctor and the ambulance people and the villa owner and so forth. I'm saying it's Dejanay. And in this case, again, I do believe other people are at fault in omitting certain things and negligent. But in the end, my point is I think Jarvis is the big nasty culprit here. I think he did wrong. And I think the blame should be laid at his door. I hope he gets convicted and then let the other chips fall where they may. If other charges are coming, then so be it. If other charges are due, so be it. But what I don't think should be done is us falsely pointing fingers at people who don't deserve it. So I'm going to drop down. If she wants to come up, that's fine. I do not believe in bullying people, pointing fingers at people. That's just not my stance I take. I think Jarvis proved that he's a pedophile, he's a nasty creep, and he did harm to that baby. And that's the reason why I wanted to revisit the statement of charges or the charges that the prosecutor put out. So I'm going to drop down Shank and Marty. And again, I'm sorry for that young lady's daughters if they, are receiving any bullying or hurt behind this.
Okay, thanks, Nikki.
Thanks.
You gotta turn your mic and camera on. Turn your mic and camera on, Payne, so I can bring you up. You backstage, but you gotta turn your camera and mic. Turn your camera and mic on, Payne, so I could bring you up. All right, she dropped down. When you come back up, Payne, just turn your camera and your mic on. Hit the blue StreamYard link and come on back up, but turn your camera and mic on. Salute Grisky. Salute Grisky. So Frank's baby mother feels some kind of way. This is his baby mother. She says that only God knows how bad this is affecting me. I even moved out my house because my address was put up on Facebook. Now, I didn't put the address up. I didn't. I did make some demonstrations about him because his name came up down the rabbit hole. Now, out of respect for his baby mother and his children, I'm willing to listen to his baby mother. And if I need to, then I won't mention Frank's name any longer. Sean says, Shank, she probably doesn't want to show her face. She don't have to show her face. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. She says, and I'm only saying this to you, Shank, because I seen you comment on a Facebook post about him. And I think that Facebook post, I think I said that I'm on his ass or I'm coming for him. And make no mistakes about it. I still stand 10 toes down on exposing this rabbit hole. All right. I do stand 10 toes down on exposing these characters in this rabbit hole. But I do understand that these characters do have family members. And see, this is part of the game. We got to be careful. Y'all got to be careful what y'all do to people, because it can backfire and affect your family members. Because your family members is the ones that's on the sideline, witnessing all of this stuff. Because you gotta turn your mic on, Hagler. Turn your mic on. Turn your mic on. Salute, Stephanie. I see y'all down there. Salute. And see, this is what happens. This is what happens when y'all out here moving like that, especially with social media. When y'all out here moving like that, y'all be jeopardizing y'all family, y'all children. Y'all children gotta see this. Did you hear what they saying about daddy, mommy? Did you hear what they saying about mommy, daddy? But this community got to get broken up. And if Frank, if he's not a part of the community, pull up. Pull up. That's all I'm asking. Pull up. You know what I mean? Your baby mother should not have to be pulling up to defend you. However, out of respect for her and your children, I will listen. I will listen. And if I have to, back up for the sake of your baby mother and your children, so shall be. But somebody got to talk to me. Because see, now here we go again with those characters being protected. But why didn't nobody protect Naziah Harris? These same characters that's down the rabbit hole that wants to be protected, why didn't they protect Naziah Harris? That's all I'm saying. And I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to be disrespectful because that's not my intentions. But my intentions is to expose these characters. We still don't know where Naziah Harris at. And that's all I'm saying. Pull up on me. Let's talk. Let's chop it up. When you click on the link and when you come up, you're gonna see where it's going to say turn on your mic and camera. It'll say turn on your mic and camera pane. So then you'll come up. And then once you come up, you can turn your camera off. You don't gotta be on camera if you don't want to. You don't gotta be on camera, but to come up, you gotta turn on the mic and camera. And then once I see it, then that's when it's going to allow you to come in. But I'm not into this to disrespect nobody that's innocent. I'm not. If you're innocent, by no means do I mean to disrespect the innocent. Now, when it comes to the guilty, you're going to have to talk to Shank Rock. You're going to have to talk to Shank Rock. And after talking to me, you're going to have to do the right thing. Because if you don't talk to me, I'm going to probably disrespect you. Because it's a baby involved. It's a child involved. It's a child involved. I wouldn't be a man. I wouldn't be a man if I ain't stand up for this child. Because pain, if it was the other way around, I would do the same thing for your children. Because if I needed somebody to stand up for my children, if I needed somebody to stand up for my grandchildren, I would want them to stand up and do the right thing. And do the honorable thing. This is a big mess. It's a big mess. I didn't make the mess. I'm not the one that made the mess. But as I said, and thank you, Miss Mama. Miss Mama says, you touch a child, you touch all of us. You touch a child, you touch all of us. But I will talk with you, Pain, out of respect, because you did come to me respectfully. So I will be respectfully and talk to you. But you touch a child, you touch all of us. That's how I was raised. That's what I saw. That's how I grew. That's what I saw. That's how I was raised. That's how we was raised. And I'm even in the streets, you ain't even gotta be locked up to get dealt with. They gonna deal with you in the streets. Appreciate that, Alicia. Yes, Joe Clark. And they call me Joe Clark. They call me Joe Clark. Man, I put my foot up, man. Don't get me stuck, because them babies, y'all. Them babies need us to fight for them. They do. And I'm tired of seeing the news. I'm tired of coming on social media and seeing these babies. It's like the parents, grown-ups, the way that they treat these babies. And I just be scratching my head like, what part of the game is this? What part of the game is this? Because all the gangsters that I know, all the dope boys that I know, even the pimps, even pimping is not going to pimp out an underage child. So what we see that's going on, that ain't pimping. That's far from pimping. Pimping don't got nothing to do with underage children. Pimping is all about a woman or women choosing a man. Some women choose women. But if you talk to some pimps, they'll tell you a woman can't be a pimp, but that's neither here nor there. But pimping is all about choosing. That woman got to choose that man. And if he's pimping, he ain't got to force her. If he's pimping, he don't got to force her. Women are madams. Salute Juanita. Gina says, Look at the young guy that did the horrible act today at Florida University. His mother is in law enforcement and he used a weapon to do it. It's unfortunately, we had to protect the children, Joe Clark, and we know that you would never disrespect anyone, but you don't play with nobody when it comes to them children. God bless you, Joe Clark. Exactly, Weezy. Appreciate that, Weezy. And I laugh and joke. Everybody know, especially from my rock squad. I used to have comedy night on Wednesdays. I laugh and joke. I let you roast me. I have a good time. We can have a good time. But when I get down to business, when it's business, when it's something serious, I ain't playing. And children, I don't play when it comes to the children. I just don't. Even those who live by the street code have some type of morality. Exactly. Stay says, hope this ain't to throw us off again. Exactly. Salute, Belinda. I see you, Belinda. And I think that we all should be able to be that way. She says, it keeps saying join without, I think maybe I should go in settings. Try going into settings. Try going into settings. Try that. And I'll stay up here for as long as you need me to so we could get it straight. But everybody should be like that when it comes to children. Everybody. Like I said, we can laugh, joke, cut a fool. But when it comes to these children, because somebody, somewhere took the time out to make sure that we was protected. And even if things may have happened to us in our lives, there still was somebody that may have came along later on in our lives to protect us. It's all about protection. We all, once upon a time in our lives, we had that protection. So, as I said earlier, and now I have to I'll include Fadi, which is Frank. I'll include Frank in it as well. I would love for all the men that's down that rabbit hole, I would love for y'all to pour up and talk to me. Come and talk to me. And I'm not sent, he don't know I'm here. He don't even watch this. And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Let me ask you this. What type of person is Fadi? What type of person is Fadi? New York City girl says, Shank, y'all getting close down this rabbit hole. Distractions are coming from all corners. Stay woke. Stasia says, I ain't play about them kids either, Shank. Straight up. A SO ain't got ish to say to me, and I feel a way. Don't even come around me. I'm a victim to that nasty ish. I'm sorry that you had to experience that, Stasia. I'm sorry that you had to experience that. And Jeanette says, we should be the voice for the ones that can't speak for themselves. Nikki says, Shank, is she in StreamYard? It shouldn't say join. It should say turn mic off on, turn camera off on. I'm not sure. Where you at, Payne? In StreamYard, or are you, where you at? Are you on StreamYard? Miss Italy says, pass the message along then. Top Flight, hope you feeling better, Top Flight. Miss Two Feet says, Fadi has a different set of morals than we used to. And I don't, like I said, I don't, and I have to listen to you first. And that's why I'm, bearing with you, because I don't want to, get on one, but I'm gonna talk to you first, Payne. But it's just not looking good. It's not looking good because, like I said, I'm not the one that put his information out there. I'm not. Stephanie says, he may not watch this, but he is aware just like she is. Exactly. Kern says, did Frank have SA charges? He had a lot of charges. Who asked me that? He had a lot of charges, Kern, that got expunged off of his record. And he only ended up with 2 years probation. Did you know that, Payne? Did you know that, Payne? That he had some of these charges on his record, but they got expunged. He may not watch. Okay, I got that. Marty says, if she hits your link, if she has an iPhone, tell her to hit Safari, then it will get to you in the mic picture. If you on an iPhone, hit the Safari. If you on an iPhone. Pensy says, they're so wicked and sickening. Top Flight says, thanks, bro. I'm still here in this place. Well, wishing you a speedy recovery. Everybody thought some prayer hands for Top Flight. Thought some prayer hands for Top Flight. Sheena says, it's war behind these babies. I don't care. Been through this as a kid with no protection, so I protect by any means. That's facts. That's facts. Payne says, yes, I'm in StreamYard. It's a turn mic and cam on, but it's not letting me. Grisky says, and just because they're expunged don't mean he never touched kids. Frank is not innocent at all. Exactly. Wheezy says, oh no, what's wrong with my girl Top Flight? Antoinette says, how old was she when she had babies for the Frank? Well, you know birds of a feather. Yes, he is aware of it. Praying for speedy recovery. Salute Erling. Salute Erling. Salute Stephanie. Salute Phoenix Fireside. Salute Linda. Renee says, we have to come against these children predators, period. Her daughter may need help too. Exactly. Exactly. Salute Jennifer Queer. I mean, it's a serious business right here. No, I never knew about the record. Just heard things on the street, but he was always good to me. I'm going to let the ladies talk to you. Can y'all talk to Payne about this? Salute PJ. Salute PJ. Can I get the ladies to address this? She says, no, I never knew about the record. Just heard things on the street, but he was always good to me. Ladies, can I get you all to talk to her about that? And see, this is the problem that Shannon ran into, Payne. Shannon ran into this same problem with Jarvis. Salute Leah. Salute Leezy. And this is a problem that we have. This is a problem that we have. Some women will overlook what they have heard about their husband, their boyfriend, or their kid's father. They'll overlook what they may have heard, or they'll overlook what they know about him, all because he may be good to them. And that's understandable. However, you got to be careful, ladies. You got to be careful. Miss Italy, edit your comment. Edit your comment, because I can't have no profanity. I can't have no profanity, Miss Italy. So edit your comment. We got to be careful with our choices of words. So Miss Italy, just edit it. Take out the, the S, and just leave the S. Take out the HIT. It keeps saying browser, block, mic, and cam. I don't know how to get through that. I'm trying to see if it's another way. Trying to see if it's another way. I don't know no other way. We got a lot of intervention to do. Payne, what browser are you in? Alicia says, Payne, go into your settings and give the browser access. I'm not going to hear something on the street about my baby daddy and not investigate it and find out exactly what's going on. And here's, again, it's certain charges. It's certain charges that if your baby daddy, if your boyfriend, it's certain charges that they got on their report card, don't have nothing to do with them. If they got any charges against a child, you don't want to have nothing to do with him. If they got any kidnapping charges, you don't want to have nothing to do with them. Any R charges, you don't want to have nothing to do with them. Any charges against women and children, you don't want to have nothing to do with them. Period. I couldn't catch the chat, y'all. Good night, everyone. New subscriber. Appreciate you for pulling up, Miss T. Appreciate you for pulling up, Miss T. Sorry that I couldn't get to your comment in time. Can I get everybody to give Miss T a warm welcome? She has to adjust her setting. Reboot. Lady J says, when you want to say something, put symbols in the words. Yes. Shank, if Frank's charges were expunged, he had to be a juvenile. Good night, Miss T. Leezy says, Payne, I'm sorry, but Shank has nothing to do with this. He's only doing what he does, and that's commentary. You should talk to Frank. Appreciate that, Leezy. Marty says, welcome, Miss T. Payne, you've been in the bushes. Who tipped you off about the content creators? Payne, have you ever seen Naziah around that shop? I'm way behind in these comments, y'all. I'm going to try to catch it, y'all. I'm sorry he didn't tell you. Why would you confront him, see as a child? And I'm saying respectfully. My daughters are fine. They never hung around them shops unless they stopped by with me. They father pretty much keep them sheltered. He only 4 years older than me, and I was 20. Appreciate you for pulling up, Queen. Appreciate you for pulling up, Queen of Kings. Can I get everybody to give Queen of Kings a warm welcome? Can I get everybody to give Queen of Kings a warm welcome? She trying to hit the StreamYard, Lady J. She trying to hit the StreamYard, Lady J. Shank is Frank charges expunged. Clear the history. Cache cookies allow permission. Queen of Kings is here. Salute. I'm trying to catch this chat, y'all. Appreciate that new membership. I'm coming, y'all. Appreciate that new membership, Alicia. Appreciate that new membership, Alicia. So let me just catch everybody up on where we're at right now. Frank's alleged baby mother, Fardy's baby mother, Payne Hagler, is in the chat. She's trying to join me on the panel. She did reach out to me to let me know how everybody's coming for Frank has affected her and her children. I asked her what did she want me to do. She asked if I could send an apology. I said I couldn't send no apology because I'm not the one that put Frank's information out on Facebook. However, I'm willing to talk with her, and if I need to back off of Frank, I'll back off of Frank if I need to. But I have to have a conversation with her first. My thing is, y'all got to pull up and talk to Shank as a man. When it's a situation, I got to pull up on you and we got to talk. We got to have a conversation. I ain't sending nobody to talk to you for me. We got to have this conversation. If I'm guilty of something and I know that if I'm being accused of something and I know that I'm not guilty, I know I ain't done it, I'm definitely going to pull up. Because when you don't pull up, especially in this situation, when I'm asking Frank, I'm asking the evangelist Kenneth, I'm asking the Kenneth Darnell Greer, I'm asking them, pull up, let's talk. They don't want to pull up with Shank Rock. Pull up, let's talk. Appreciate the new membership, Miss Jackson. So let me ask the chat, and let me ask everybody on the replay game. How do y'all feel about this? How do y'all feel about this? Alicia says Shannon and Jarvis need to apologize. Brent says, I want the shirt. I see you talk with Prince. I see you, Teresa. And see, that's my thing. Milky Way Girl says, I would like to hear her speak before making a judgment. Leezy says, honey, you should have just stayed in the bushes. Red says, they playing games. Play chess, Shank. You know I'm playing chess. You know I'm playing chess. But I want to, get a conversation going with her and see what can come out of the conversation. But see, people, and not all, but some are coming for us content creators. The content creators that's down a rabbit hole. The content creators that's still talking about the Naziah Harris. There are some people that are coming for us and wanting us to stop, wanting us to apologize. But it's not the content. We're the ones that's keeping the Naziah Harris case. We're the ones that's keeping it irrelevant. We're keeping it irrelevant. We trying to get justice. The content creators and the subscribers, we're not DPD. We're not the Detroit Police Department. The content creators and the subscribers, we're not CPS. The content creators and the subscribers, we're not the caseworkers. The content creators and the subscribers, we're not the ones that failed Naziah Harris. The content creators and the subscribers, ain't none of us down the rabbit hole. So y'all expecting the wrong things from us. Y'all need to get at Shannon. Y'all need to get at Miss Annette. Y'all need to get at the DPD. Y'all need to get at the CPS. Y'all need to get at the Evangelist Kenneth, Donnell, Kenneth, Frank. Y'all need to get at them. I'm going to let this comment ride, Brittany, but next time just use that F. All right, Britt, Danity, next time just use the F. Appreciate that super sticker, Kimberly. Appreciate that super sticker, Kimberly. Appreciate that super sticker. But see, the rabbit hole has already been exposed. So even if I back away, you got these other content creators that ain't gonna back away. I can tell you that much right now. I know the content creators that definitely ain't gonna back away from this rabbit hole. So even if I back away from the rabbit hole, there's still other content creators that's down that rabbit hole. So, right, Tanika, you never know. She could have sent her to get her to distract us from talking about him. It's power. And that's what it seems like to me, Tanika, and everybody else. It's a distraction. That's all. That's all. But let me explain something to y'all that keep trying to distract us. It just only opens up another can of worms. That's all. That's all it's going to open up, another can of worms. I'm not the only content creator. I'm not. And I'm a laid back content creator. But you got y'all know the go hard content creators out there. So the rabbit hole been exposed. It's all about justice for Naziah Harris. Naziah Harris was not protected. She was not protected. No matter how you look at it. She was not protected. And Fadi Frank, he's attached. Frank is attached to this case. The body shop. Y'all see the shirt that Jarvis was wearing, Frank's body shops. Them shops, they were Frank's. They Frank shops. This is how Frank is in the equation. Because these things was taking place inside of and outside of Frank's body shops. Frank was aware of what was going on. Frank was in that body shop. Frank was in those body shops. Frank allowed Jarvis Butts. Frank knows what's on Jarvis Butts' report card. Frank hired Jarvis. The man code. And every man that's not a pedophile is going to agree with what I'm saying. The man code is, if another man has a report card with SAs on it, R on it, kidnapping on it, of women or children, the man code is to not entertain this fool right here. The man code is to, one option, put hands on them, or the other option, get them away from me. Frank did not do that. They say birds of a feather flock together. So why didn't Frank get rid of Jarvis? Why did Frank allow Jarvis to continue to work up at that shop? And that's what'll happen, Antoinette. He'll end up throwing her under the bus. I mean, I'm gonna wait around a little bit longer, Payne. I'm gonna wait around a little bit longer, out of respect. I'm gonna see if you could get it together. Try to hit me up on Instagram. Try to hit me up on Instagram. Appreciate that super chat, Lady J. Let me get that super chat. Appreciate that super chat, Lady J. Lady JJ says, I'm here for justice for Naziah Harris. Thanks, Shank Rock. You're welcome. And that's what I'm here for. Payne says, I don't think y'all understand. I'm not here for Fadi. This his battle. I was just saying my home was put on social media because of the situation. We have to suffer behind this. I'm gonna let the ladies, can y'all address Payne's comment? Can the ladies address Payne's comment. And I'm going to put your comment up on the screen so those on the replay gang can see it as well. And I'm going to let y'all address them. And that's all I'm trying to get you to understand, Payne. I ain't put his information out there. I didn't. I ain't the one that put his information out there. She need to think about the baby girl. Tell her to kick rocks. It's about the babies. Lizzie says, please go on. Them alphabet people. Hey, Miss Parker. Distraction. They rather y'all or DPD. Where's Naziah's apology? I mean, no, I didn't post it, Victoria. Victoria says, I'm confused though. Shank didn't post her home on social media, so why does Shank specifically have to apologize for something he didn't do? I didn't. I ain't posted. I ain't mentioned nothing about his children. I ain't mentioned nothing about his wives, his baby mom. I went straight for Frank. I went straight for Frank. Because I wasn't going to mention nothing about his children. Children ain't had nothing to do with it. His wives, girlfriend, baby mothers ain't had nothing to do with it. So I wasn't going to mention them. But we want Frank. We want Frank. We want Frank. Now, if you choose to pull up on the other content creators' platforms, that's fine. That's fine. But I would prefer the men. I would prefer you, Frank. Come talk to me. The evangelist Kenneth and Kenneth Darnell Grigg, come over here. However, if y'all gotta reach out to the other content creators and go on their platforms, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not gonna knock no content creator. That's fine. But come over here. Let the men come over here. I'll wait around for a few more minutes and then we're going to get up out of here. I'll wait around for a few more minutes, Payne, and then we're going to get up out of here. But I would like to talk with you. I agree with you, ZB. I agree with you, ZB. We need to move on. We need to move on, and that's just what I'm going to do, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and get back to the demonstration and move on because it's a distraction. I'm going to take it as a distraction. So those are some of the characters that is down a rabbit hole. Those are some of the characters that's down that rabbit hole. The lighter gentleman, that's Payne's baby's father. Y'all gotta watch y'all comments. Y'all gotta watch y'all comments. Y'all can't put no curse words in the chat. But these are some of the characters that's down the rabbit hole. Why do they want us to get away from the rabbit hole? Why? Why do they want us to get away from the rabbit hole? How is it that? How is it that? And I hope I got a picture of her alone. Well, I got one with Miss Annette. No, it'll do. Appreciate that cash donation, Sharon. Appreciate that cash donation, Sharon. How is it that the babies, because we don't know if any of the other children were touched, but how is it that, now look at the looks on these kids' faces. Look at the innocence. Look at the innocence. Right? So why wasn't the innocence of these children protected? Right? Naziah is in the middle. She's in the middle. Why wasn't the innocence of these children protected? Right? But now look at their faces. Look at their faces. But we supposed to apologize and we supposed to protect them. We supposed to get them a slap on the wrist. Right? Come on. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We were supposed to have been protecting them. See, those are the ones that should have been protected. Those are the ones that should have been showed love to. The babies. The babies. But they ain't want to protect the babies. They ain't want to protect the babies. So they allowed these monsters. Come on, man. Come on. Top Flight says, take your face off from them, bro. Top Flight says, bro, get your face off of there with them. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Let me see who this is, y'all. Let me see. We got to do better. We got to do better. Salithia says, I just feel like Frank just got the money. He got all these shops. When Jarvis got out, he probably gave him the shop because lady came out that said she was attacked by Jarvis. I appreciate you too, Foxy. I appreciate y'all. We got to keep fighting, y'all. We got to keep fighting to protect these children. At the end of the day, it's about the children. It ain't about me. It ain't about us, you. It's about these children. Tony says, Shank asks her to do she know Shannon. And okay, that's a long one, y'all. So I definitely got my work cut out now. I definitely got my work cut out for me now. Look, everybody, I appreciate all of y'all for pulling up. Leah says there's no need to apologize, yet there is harm caused by the actions of what is said. I see you, Miss Parker. Salute. I'm way behind in the chat. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. I will leave the chat running. Salute. And I will see everybody back tomorrow. I don't think Miss Parker's going live tonight. So I will leave the chat running and y'all can hang around. Salute, everybody.